Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Can you believe that summertime is almost over? It's like, whew, really went by fast. I think a lot of it had to do with Camp NaNoWriMo, honestly, that things just kind of, went by really quickly. As I was sitting at my desk the other day at work, I just had this sudden realization that next month is fall, and I was just like, zing! So excited. I love fall. It is my favorite time of the year, hands down. I was born in the fall, and during the fall I just feel like a goddess. Like, yes, this is my time of the year. I'm home now, and I feel like the trees are just like dripping this golden red and orange carpet all over the sidewalks just for me. As writers, I feel like that's pretty common in the writing community and in the bookish community that we just like fall. I don't know if it's because it's so cozy and it's just the best time to be indoors reading a book or writing, what it is. But whatever it is, I feel like fall gets a lot of loving around here and summer does not. I kind of feel bad for summer a little bit because summer's actually pretty fun. I think maybe one of the problems with summer is that it's really fun when we're little kids because we get time off from school, and so we get to go out and play and do child things and go to the pool and all that stuff. And then when you're an adult, it's pretty much just hot and you have to work anyways. So it's kind of sad. Summer just gets the bad end of the stick when you're an adult, it feels like. But here are some things that I love about summer. I love that first day in the year when you realize you can go outside without putting any shoes on, and you can walk barefoot in the grass or on the sidewalk, and the sidewalk is all warm. I love that. Even though summer could never replace fall in my heart, I do love summer. And so I'm kind of excited to be able to do this summer vacation tag. I was tagged by Brooke Passamore at By the Brook. If you haven't watched her video, of course, it will be linked below, and you should, because she is so hilarious and so bubbly and so much fun to watch. She's honestly one of my favorite people to watch. I'm always so happy when I see a video from her. So I feel so flattered and thrilled that she tagged me to do this. Thank you so much, Brooke. Go ahead and watch her tag if you haven't yet. This tag was created by Katie Wilson, so of course I will also link her original video down below so that you can go ahead and watch that. And I believe that Katie Wilson is writing a contemporary novel, so a lot of these questions are a little bit more fitting to contemporary characters, which makes it a little bit more of a challenge for those of us who are writing during a different time period. But you know what? Brooke's book takes place during the 1920s, and she did this tag fabulously. And as I was watching hers, I admit I watched it a couple times just to get the questions down. I was just thinking about which characters would go for each question in my mind, and I realized, you know what? We can do this. It's a little bit of a challenge, but we're gonna make it work. So without further ado, let's get into this tag. Alright, question number 1. Who has a staycation? So for this question, I'm going to say the answer would be Isabella Stanley, or Izzy. So Izzy is my protagonist's best friend from childhood. She would have a staycation because she can make fun pretty much anywhere that she is. She's just got that kind of more outgoing, bubbly, crazy, funny personality. But she would not be going anywhere for vacation because she always needs to stay home so that she can help her parents run the dry goods store that they own and that they live above. So of all my characters who would probably have a staycation, I would say it would be Izzy. Question number 2. Who travels somewhere exotic and where do they go? This is one of those that's a little bit challenging because considering the time period my book is written in, my story is not a contemporary fiction. It takes place in kind of the Old West. For the most part, the beginning of the book takes place at an all-girls boarding school on the East Coast in the town of Lidditz, Pennsylvania. And then my main character is taken away from her all-girls school and sent to live with her father in Texas, kind of towards the end of the cowboy era. So a majority of the book takes place in the West, in Texas and around there. Who travels somewhere exotic and where do they go? Most of my characters are working throughout the summer. My book takes place during the summer, so none of them are really traveling or going on vacations. But as I thought about it, of all of my characters who would go somewhere exotic, probably it would most likely be Chuck. So Chuck is the cook on the cattle drive. He's an elderly Apache man who has been like a cowboy all his life. And of all of the cowboys in my story, I would say Chuck is probably the most well-traveled around the West. He's probably been the most places, and he's not really attached to anything. He lives in a little dugout out in the middle of nowhere, works the cattle drive, and is free as a bird. He could go anywhere he pleases, doesn't care if he has money or not. So I would say Chuck is the one who'd probably go to the most exotic places, and that would most likely be Mexico. He would probably go to Mexico. Why? Why not? He's Chuck. He's gonna do whatever he wants to do. And then question number 3 is, who visits family again? And this one, I would say, would probably be Greta Mueller. Greta is one of my protagonist's closest friends at her all-girls boarding school. So the town of Lidditz, Pennsylvania, where this girls' school is located, has a deep German history. So a lot of the people who live there are of German descent, or a lot of them are fresh off the boat in Germany, and Greta is no different. Her grandfather came over from Germany. Her family is very close, and her grandfather has a little shop where he makes violins. And every summer, during the summer vacation, Greta goes to spend time with her family, and she usually brings Mercedes, my main protagonist, along with her. So, of all the characters who would be going to visit their family in the summer, it would definitely be Greta. Question number 4, who has a summer fling? Without giving away any spoilers, this can be tricky. It's kind of slim pickings for anybody to have a summer fling, but if anyone was going to, it would probably be Clancy Kelly. I can see him being more of like the ladies' man than probably any of the other characters in this book. Clancy is a prankster. He is always pulling pranks on people and just keeping things alive, and you always kind of have to watch your back around him. He can be very sweet, but sometimes he can also be a little bit insensitive. He can be kind of a little bit pompous, a little bit full of himself. So if anybody was going to have a little summer fling, I would say it would probably be him. Question number 5. Who would have the worst summer and why? Honestly, this one came to me like a snap. It would be Elliot Burns. Elliot Burns is another one of the cowboys on the cattle drive, and he's just a grumpy person. He does not know how to be optimistic or positive. He does not know how to take sour lemons and make lemonade, and so he's just gonna have the worst summer because stuff gets tough and things happen that he doesn't want to happen, and he's just kind of a sourpuss about it because he's a grumpy guy. So that would be Elliot Burns. Question number 6. Who spends too long outside, burns, and looks like a lobster? And for this one, I would definitely say Mercedes, who is my main protagonist. It isn't that Mercedes is not a very careful person, it's just that sometimes she takes too long planning the wrong things, and then other things go wrong. So really, she does end up getting pretty sunburnt in this book. It takes place during the summer. Most of her plans end up going pretty much awry, and she ends up looking like a fool because of it, time after time after time. And so if anyone was going to stay out too long in the sun, it would probably be her, and it's probably not because she's out there playing necessarily. It's probably because she spent so long planning on what food she was going to bring that she forgot to bring a hat to cover herself up or something like that. So, Mercedes McBride, ladies and gentlemen. Question number 7. Who spends all summer long reading? This one goes without saying, it would be Liberty Harris. Liberty Harris is another one of Mercedes' close friends from her all-girls boarding school. Liberty can pretty much always be found buried behind a book. She loves to read, and she spends her entire summer vacations reading. At the boarding school that the girls attend, all books have to be pre-approved before you can bring them to the school and read them, and Liberty likes to read lots of books that probably would not be approved at the school. And so she would spend the summers reading all the books that she's not allowed to read while she's on campus at school. Question number 8. Who doesn't take a vacation at all? And for this one, I would have to say John McBride, who is my protagonist's father. He is starting a new business venture, and he's kind of a bit of a workaholic, not the happiest person alive, and so he would not bother with a vacation because he's just got way too much stuff to do, and he needs to get this business venture going, so he would not be taking any kind of vacation. Question number 9. Who would be partying like it's spring vacation every week? This would be Loco. He's another one of the cowboys. He's a Mexican cowboy, and he's kind of a bit of a pyromaniac. Cowboys in general tend to be like, they just don't talk more than necessary. They're men of very few words. They kind of keep to themselves. But Loco is not like that at all. He does not fit into the typical cowboy mold, we'll just say. He loves to talk, he's always talking, everything is funny to him, whereas most cowboys kind of leave your business to you. You know, a man's business is his own, they don't want to get involved. Loco is not that way. He will come right up in your face and ask you all about your business, and he will laugh about it. And so if anyone was going to spend every day partying like at summer vacation, it would definitely have to be Loco. Alright, and then last but certainly not least is number 10, who am I going to tag? And so this was really fun to do. I always love hearing about other people's characters. So I am going to be tagging Novelly KJ, Rebecca Rodriguez, Alexandra Roslin, and Maverick Moses to do this tag. All of the questions are listed below. If you do end up doing this tag, let me know about it. And even if I didn't tag you, but this sounds like a really fun tag to do, consider yourself tagged, go ahead and do it. And we better hurry before the summer ends because, it's ending next month! Crazy! So anyways, thank you again so much, Brooke, for tagging me. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!
Would you come and take a walk with me? We'll cross over the mountains and we'll reach the pale blue sea. I love you, I'm so glad